Hey guys, it's Mallard with another stamp video, and today we are going to talk about the different variations of the 1890s George Washington red 2-cent stamp. If you get an old album or an old stock book, more than likely you at least have one of these stamps in front of me in there, and they can range from a few dollars to actually up to $700. So how do you know which one you have? Well, we're going to go over that today. I am just going to go over the appearance of the stamps, not including the color. There are color variations. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to get into what is easily seen. All right, guys, so to start off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up this one right here, put it in my hand, and I'm going to pick up this one right here. And I want you guys to tell me what you see about these that are different. It should be fairly obvious, but do you guys see the triangles right here? No triangles right there? So that's the first thing you need to look for when you're looking at these 2-cent 1890s George Washington red stamps is, does it have triangles or not? All right, so the stamp that has no triangle, that stamp is older, and that stamp actually only has a few different variations. So let me put these back. So as you can see, I have 3 stamps up here, no triangles, 3 stamps down here with triangles. This line of stamps up here is way easier to tell the difference in the types. So there's actually only 2 different variations, all right? So this, like I showed you earlier, is just a normal George Washington 2-cent stamp. Nothing special. It's worth a few dollars at best. But when we go over here, I'll put both of them in my hand actually again. I want you guys to look and tell me if you can see the difference in the stamps. Now this is a very, very minute difference, and only serious collectors probably have even ever heard about this or know about this. I want you guys to look at the 2 on the left side of this stamp. Do you guys see that there is a little cap on top of the 2? All right. I'll put it up closer to the camera. Do you guys see like there's a little cap on top of the 2? Look to the 2 on the right side. You'll notice that there is no cap up there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on top of each other. Pull them up to the camera. Do you guys see the cap on top of the 2 on the left side on the stamp that is in the front? And there's no cap on the left 2 on the stamp that's behind. Do you guys see that cap? All right. If you don't, what you need to be looking for is this picture right here. Now the variations of this stamp, like I said, there's only basically 2. There's one that has a cap only on the left 2, and then there's actually one that has a cap on both numbers. So let me pull that up for you. All right, you guys see over here, it's kind of hard to see because of the lighting, but there's only one cap on that 2. On this 2, I want you to look super closely. You see that the cap on the left 2 is super obvious to me on this stamp right here. But you guys see the cap on the right 2 as well? So this is a 1 cap, 2-cent George Washington, and this is a 2 cap, 2-cent George Washington. You need to be on the lookout for those variations because the prices differ greatly. So this stamp, like I said, is only worth about 15 or 55 cents right here. Now, if you find a 1 cap, that's worth about 10 cents used. And if you can find one in mint condition, it is worth $150 in my 2007 Scott catalog. If you get super lucky and you can find a 2 cap, 2-cent red George Washington is actually worth $30 used and $700 in mint condition. So definitely be on the lookout for those 3 different variations. All right, now we've gotten through these stamps up here. Now we're going to move on to these 3 down here. Now these 3 are going to be harder to identify because the only difference is basically lines that run through these triangles on the top 2 corners. All right, so there's type 1s right here, type 2, and type 3. There is a type 4. I'm not getting into that because that's actually just a color difference. So when you're looking at a type 1 stamp, I want you guys to look at the two triangles in the two top right and left hand corners, and you'll notice that they're super dark, you know? So if you guys can pick up the lines that actually run through this stamp for the background, those lines run all the way through those triangles, and so it makes it look super dark. Okay, so this is a type 1 stamp. The lines run all the way through the triangle, and I'll put a picture up right now showing you what is in my Scott catalog. Now we are going to go to type 2, and I want you to remember how dark those corners of this first stamp were. Now when I bring this stamp, you guys will notice it is lighter. It is lighter in the middle of those two triangles, but you will also notice that it is still dark in the area that is surrounding the triangle. There's actually two triangles in the corners. There's one that has 3 dots in the middle, and there's actually one that is basically it's a skinnier triangle around the bigger triangle in the middle. And you'll notice that is dark, but the middle triangle is still light. And I'm going to show you the picture that is in my Scott catalog explaining this. Now, last but not least, we are going to go to 3. And as you can see, the triangle that is even surrounding the smaller triangle in the middle, there are no lines going through it, so you know that that is a type 3 stamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all these into my hand, and I'm going to show you the differences. Hopefully by now, since I explained it, you'll be able to pick them up pretty quickly. So as you see here, super dark triangle. There's no white in the middle there at all. It is definitely all dark through those triangles. So you know that all these lines are going through the triangles. That is a type 1. Type 2, you'll notice that the middle is pretty light, but the outer triangle that surrounds it is still dark. So the lines are still going through that outer triangle. And type 3, you'll notice right here, the outer triangle, the lines are not continuing through that, so you know that it is a type 3 stamp. Let me put these back down. Now the last thing you need to look for when identifying these stamps is the watermark. So these up here, don't need to worry about those. Those watermarks don't matter. These down here, the watermarks do matter. So there is a unwatermarked stamp and there's a double line watermark stamp. If you don't know how to find watermarks, I will leave the link to the video where I talk about watermarks in the description down below. Go check that out and then come back to this video. Like I said, a ton of these were printed, so these are only going to be worth a few dollars at best. These up here, like I said, have a little more value if you can find the caps. Make sure you're looking for the caps because that is where the value is. Alright guys, the resources that I used to make this video, I will put in the description down below. Yeah. If you want me to have videos on how to identify certain types of stamps, let me know. I am more than willing to do that. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you would like to see any particular set of stamps identified on this channel. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for watching.